Friends, Fever fans, welcome back to another exciting episode of Fever Replay Podcast, your home for a weekly breakdown of Fever games and news. Once again, brought to you by the love of the game. Sometimes it's oops, all offense for the love of the game. My name is Chris Ord, as always, your host with none other than the never late, always great, Keisha Gallagher. How you doing, Keisha?
I'm doing well, Chris. How are you, sir?
I've been better, truth be told. Did I mention last week that my foot doesn't work?
Huh? What's that now?
No, yeah. So I'm in a boot. I have turf toe. Essentially, winter ended, which you'll remember happened a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I played basketball with my son, because I'm a good dad and a decent human being.
Sure.
And I felt great. I beat him, in both horse and one-on-one. And I felt great doing it. And then the next day, my foot hurt like a tiny bit. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And it kind of felt good to stretch it. And I had my wife stretching it as much as she could. And I was like, yeah, I think that's helping. I think I must have jammed my toe or something. Who knows? Next day, terrible. Turns out I had torn a tendon, and I made it way worse. So fun. I can watch basketball, but I can't play it, and it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's super great. I really feel I'm starting to get like how Caitlin Clark felt last year.
Wow.
Like I feel closer to her now.
Yeah, I mean, parallel lives, practically.
Basically. I feel like when we meet, we'll have that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, basketball is back. It's exciting. We had a great opening game. One of the better opening night games that I can remember. And the stats didn't lie. So let's jump into that one, shall we?
Dive right in.
So, first off, this was prime time. This was Caitlin Clark versus Paige Beckers, right? This was the last 4 first overall picks, all on the court, all doing great.
Mm-hmm.
This was fantastic. A couple of stats just to start off. It was the first season opener ever where both teams were over 100.
Oof.
And on top of that, both teams had a trio with 20 points each on either side. Crazy.
So it was an exciting game. And I know as a Fever fan, it's always disappointing to have a loss, but that loss wasn't due to a failure of teamwork or, plays not working. It just was little things not coming together. But they should be proud of how they played. And Dallas was playing exceptionally well, and they were very hot behind the three. They just got a little bit luckier that night.
Yeah, if anything, it felt like Dallas was really firing on all cylinders. Mm-hmm. And we had just a couple false starts here and there where it was like, oh, we need to clean that up. But the fact that we were in the game the entire time, we got ourselves 2 open shots to try and close the game. Which, it's what else can you do other than scheme and get the ball to 2 of the best 3-point shooters in the game currently wide open? There's not much else you can do. Sometimes those don't go in. So I felt great, as good as I've ever felt after a loss, honestly, because it was just like, sky's the limit. It's going to be a great year. There's obviously things to clean up, but that's also good news. It's for a first game of the season where, like we kind of talked about the preseason, you don't really get to see your team out there. You're not really moving at the pace you want to be, and you don't really get to gel. It was incredible. It was super great. Our offense is incredible already.
Mm-hmm.
And that's without Mo Billings, too.
I know.
Who looked great during the preseason, and I'm excited to have her height and savvy out there on the court would help a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Timpson is holding her own, though.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so excited about Timpson. Everyone across the board, I don't know, maybe that's a little strong. Let's say Caitlin physically looks great. Boston, Like these are people that I feel like improved physically.
Hmm.
Like they look better, stronger, faster than last year. The pterodactyl,
Yeah.
as we said, KK Timpson. Oh my gosh, her shoulders are kind of nuts,
Yeah.
and she's moving fast and strong and like really sure of herself. Like it's one thing to like have put on some muscle, in the off season, but to also have put on like confidence,
Hmm.
and swagger. Like she's like, "Oh, I'm not lucky to be down here mixing it up with you guys. I'm gonna take it to you,
Yeah.
and you're gonna feel it." Yeah, I mean, and honestly, Dantas looks in better shape too. I mean, I know that she literally came off of the um, America Cup. Is that what it was last year?
Yeah.
She was like in the middle of playing for her country, so that's like a tough route last year. And I hope we see this Dantas that we got from this game all season.
Yeah. I mean, so much potential. The Fever are lousy with potential. It's what can we put together game in and game out, and if there are, knock on wood, any injuries, who's going to step up and who's going to be there in those rare moments that hopefully aren't going to plague the team like last year. But I like what I was seeing. Hopefully those big threes or big game winning opportunities when they pop up again, we we crush them, right? But it was a weird game. There was a lot of fouls. I feel like that has been the trend with the preseason and the first few opening games. Even the game I was just watching, uh, Dallas is playing again against Atlanta. Lots of fouls, an incredibly large amount of fouls that I don't really believe are fouls, and it seems like they're just slowing the pace of the game down a lot, impacting the flow of the game.
Yeah, agreed. I'm hopeful because they kind of talked during the game about like them coming together during the off season, from the players and the owners and the refs all kind of coming together. Like, how can we fix this thing? Like, trying to acknowledge that there's a problem. If they can get the physicality to a place that is more sustainable, like I hope that that's what this is. These are like bumps in the road
Mm-hmm.
to doing like a hard correct, because I think a hard correct was necessary. So I'm hopeful, you know, that's because it's clear that something's happening across the board where they're like, hey, rein it in. Um, there's still going to be missed calls. I'm hopeful that I wanted a change, and I'm glad I think we're seeing like a league wide change.
Right.
And hopefully it comes out on the other end better. I don't know if it will. That's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, I don't know.
Assuming positive intent. Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming. Positive intent. I like that. That's good, Keisha. Did you invent that?
Yep. Totally invented that.
Impressive. So one of the my biggest takeaways from this was first off, oops, all offense. That's what it's so funny because uh, Caitlin Clark was quoted as like, "Hey, you're going to see a lot of offense this game," and she famously that's what she wants from basketball also. But on top of that, I actually felt our half court defense was stellar.
Mm.
Um, to the point where we had twice, like almost in a row, we had them have 5 second delay, not being able to inbound the ball,
Right.
um, which like is a testament to us doing like having a plan, being organized, and executing that, which was fantastic. And I saw the same thing, like especially, gosh, Aaliyah was really doing some good defensive work in the paint. It was impressive. Like on one end, she was able to score at will, and on the other end, she was really giving people a hard time. Where we sucked
Ooh.
was on transition defense. Okay, so fast break points for Dallas 25
Mm-hmm.
versus Indiana 12. And that's what it seemed like. It seemed like if they were on a fast break, we were nowhere near stopping them. It just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And that's something we can clean up. Like I expected to see things that were disorganized this game. But I was delighted to see actually what I thought in the half court, us looking pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, again, these are basically brand new teams. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked out. People practicing for the first time together. Some people literally showing up for the first time coming back from playing overseas. So It's all fresh, all new. Very excited to see what's to come.
Another thing I really liked was Heinz Allen. Um, she seemed to be a great fit to me. She was kind of doing all the little things that we needed. Her being that connecting piece, that sort of hockey assist, which apparently was something that they really wanted to implement this year off of a Caitlin pass instead of it going like straight into whatever the shot's going to be. You
Hmm.
know, like having a planned. If you don't know what a hockey assist is, it's just one pass which opens another pass, right?
Hmm.
But it being intentional, like part of the play is to do that. Um, and there were a couple times where that ball was like it hit her hands and it was just like boom where it needed to be. She was just right on point. And I know it's hard playing with Caitlin. Like it takes a little while to get used to the speed of that ball coming to you and when it's coming. But it didn't seem like Heinz Allen skipped a beat even a little. It was fantastic.
No, I think it also speaks to her experience. Like she played for the Mystics for a few years. I know she kind of had bounced around in the last couple years between the Lynx and then the Wings, but she's has a lot of knowledge when it comes to playing with a lot of different type of passers. She's played with a lot of different types of offenses, and I think she can be the type of person to be thrown into any type of offense and adapt immediately. But I think that's something that you have to take into consideration when you have a kind of a high profile player on your team that's known to have certain types of strengths or weaknesses. You know that that player is going to be attacked or mobbed, or they're going to try to find a way to shut them down. So you have to take on that secondary role of being able to make that quick pass or make that entry, that dribble entry, so that they collapse in a different way. And I do think someone with her experience, being slightly older than some of these newer players, is a huge benefit to the Fever this year.
Yeah, and that continues to be something that we, or like our team identity, needs to rely on. Like we need veterans that can be there, that can do their thing in a professional manner, 100%. Because on the youth side, we just are gangbusters. We got the exact sort of young players that you want with all the energy in the world and the speed and the potential, and also just currently very good. That she's, I mean, it's really early to say, but from the one game, I'm really happy. Like it, it didn't. She just hit the ground running.
Mhm.
Gosh, I just have a note here that says Lexi is a grown ass woman, and I'm
Hmm.
like wondering what else I need to add to that, but I don't think there is. I think what I saw, like, I really was happy to see Lexi, even in her like limited minutes, just being like a really vocal leader,
Hmm.
especially on the defense. Like you could see it through the screen. Her like even from the bench, like shouting, "Hey, we need to be doing this. We need to be doing that," and then her just being the same old Lexi, but it's like I feel like last year she was legit, but this year it's like she already knows. It's not like a surprising thing to her. She's like, "Hey, I want to be that woman I was last year." I think that's who I am now for forever, you
Yeah.
know.
She's also has now played 1 through 3, 1 through 4. She's getting stronger every year. She's playing 3-on-3. She's playing 5-on-5. She's playing with legends across two very successful leagues. Like she's putting herself out there to be the best version of herself.
And she has I think that mindset of like improvement.
Hmm.
Like this is who I am, and I'm like trying to intentionally add pieces to my game. Like you see that she's very much not building herself out to be some sort of one trick. Like, oh, I'm the effort person. Oh, I'm the defense person. Oh, I'm the corner shooter. No, no, she's all of these things, and who knows what else she's adding to her bag this year.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. I'm very excited about this team. I am nervous that Caitlin was in the tunnel on a gurney. And then I don't know if you noticed this, but she was touching her groin a fair amount. Now, she was playing, and I don't feel like if she couldn't be out there or if there was a real concern that they would have left her out there.
Right.
Like I couldn't imagine why. So the fact that I think maybe she felt something and they went back and then they said it's nothing, it makes sense you'd be nervous. That's like what I'm hoping happened because I don't know why if it was even a slight concern that they wouldn't have just pulled her for the game. It's the first game of the season. I
Right.
don't know what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think there is a point when you're coming back from an injury that has sidelined you for so long where you can become either overly overly sure of yourself, thinking that you know that you've hurt yourself again because you've been down this path before where you felt like you were feeling better and you came back too soon, or you're like, I have put in the work and nothing can stop me now, I'm ready to come back. So maybe they're being overly cautious at first and thinking that it was more serious than it was. They evaluated and it wasn't nearly as serious as they thought it was. It was just a momentary freak out because this is the golden goose and we don't want her to be out for another year. I mean, this is not meant to be an insult to Clark in any way, but she really hasn't gotten the chance to show what she's made of professionally.
No, for sure. This is a pivotal year. Like, as a huge Caitlyn fan,
Mm-hmm.
this is a pivotal year for her legacy. And, like, that's a crazy thing to say, but also not. Because, like, part of her current legacy, and we don't know, maybe, fast forward a long career, and it doesn't even matter because she won a million championships. Who knows? But currently, one of her biggest feathers in her cap is that she came out of the gate like just crazy,
Right.
and she had one of the greatest rookie years, maybe that we'll see. She had a fantastic rookie year. And then to like, oh, you know, to not get to play at all, basically. And then for your team to get like so close to the finals,
Yeah.
it doesn't her that this section of her legacy is really up in the air. It doesn't, like you said, it's no disrespect to her. It's what happened.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we need to see what this year brings for sure.
I think it is a lot of pressure on her, but I mean, especially after this big negotiation and everyone getting paid more, I think there's
Mm-hmm.
this kind of sense there, and then again, because it's women, it's like you all demanded to be paid more, and now you really have to kind of prove that you're worth it, which is super unfortunate
Such bullshit.
because they
Such
are worth it,
bullshit. Yes,
and
they're clearly worth it.
they're still not getting paid what they're.
Yeah, it wasn't like they got oh now they're overpaid and you got to prove it.
Yeah.
It's like they were horribly. I mean, I know that you're not the one saying this,
Yeah.
but that just makes me so mad.
I know, I know. Devil's
It's so
advocate
frustrating.
here, just a smidge, but
It's a
yes,
hundred percent the mentality of um, the world, though.
yeah,
Is like, oh, okay, oh, you wanted the big bucks, and it's like they didn't even get the big bucks. They got the medium
yeah,
bucks. They got the fine bucks,
yeah,
the enough bucks.
yeah. Like this is appropriate, I guess.
They got the appropriate bucks. Um, yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's the worst. So also let's talk about Paige because this
Hmm.
was, in many ways, this was the two of them looking great. Like this was not Paige, the rookie. Like
Right.
Paige looked so poised, so intentional, so much a leader. Like she's the centerpiece of this team, and it's not like this is a different team too that is built around her
Hmm.
and like is so much better than last year. Like this is not the Dallas that was on the court last year
It's
in
very,
any way, shape, or form.
yeah, it's very interesting because there are a lot of, I think, parallels between the two teams. I mean, there are a lot of like there's a lot of youth on the Fever, but Dallas, if not more so, has a lot of youth and
Mm-hmm.
is relying on that youth to kind of keep them going. They have they don't have a huge set of leaders and senior players to rely on to guide this kind of rookie and sophomore series of players, and even some of their more seasoned players, maybe they're only from overseas, or they're international, or they're young but all of their play is from playing internationally. Or it's the type of like player like Odyssey Sims who's kind of bounced around from team to
Oh my
team.
gosh, Odyssey looks so good.
But yeah, she's incredible, but she hasn't had a home in at least two
Mm-hmm.
years. So she's
Yeah,
great, but it's not like she has a lot of history with Dallas.
it's true. It's true.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it's very interesting, and there's been a lot of discussion about AZ Fudd being now this year's number one draft pick, and the fact that she's not starting. What does that mean? Like, I know Paige is great, but AZ has one of, if not, I mean, hundreds of people have said this, that she has one of the best shots ever. It's quick, it's high efficiency, it's a beautiful shot. People are shocked by it. She's she's incredible. She wants to learn. She comes from a dynasty school. Why is she not starting? And I know it's preseason, and I know she's out currently right now, I think with some sort of leg injury, but it's just odd to me that you have this depth on your bench and you have AZ Fudd and you're not starting her. It's just, I don't know, but I'm not a coach. I'm just a fan, so I think there's a lot of interest in the expansion teams now and what that's going to look like, because we are seeing scores so high. Um, and I'm kind of happy to see that the conversations have kind of gone away from Caitlyn versus Paige, because the ability to have all these teams and to see the talent spread out a little bit more evenly, you're seeing like, whoa, all of these games are high scoring. All of these games, there's players going double doubles or having some crazy record breaking performance. And it's like, yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you guys, but we've only had 8 or 10 teams for a really long time now, so
Yeah, and there's so much more talent
yeah.
out there. Yeah, I'm really excited for this season as a whole. Um, Gosh, but this was a good game. It was weird when it ended and we lost, because I was almost like I should feel worse than this. But it just was good. Like, winning would have been bonus. It's literally the first game. And that's the thing about, I hear you, with Fudd,
Hmm.
but huge but, she, like, for reals, the college season like just ended. Like,
Right.
and we've been over this before.
Hmm.
The off season here is like 3 weeks long.
Right.
You know what I mean? Legitimately 3 weeks long. And so there really shouldn't, like, if you're like, oh, I'm not worried about this player. She's exceptional. She will be great.
Yeah.
She is a part of our team chemistry. She's going to be the future of this team 100%. Why not ease her in? You know,
Sure.
like, that is, if you were to ask yourself what's the ideal time frame, this would not be the ideal time frame. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, it's unfortunate the season has started, but it just hasn't been that long, and she's coming off a full college year. So I know that's every single person,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're
Yeah.
not worried about her, I get why you would still have her coming off the bench.
Yeah.
But I hear everything you're saying, because, yeah, no, that's crazy. If she is who we've all seen her to be and she hasn't given us a reason to think she isn't, then why the hell wouldn't she be on the court as often as you can get her? Just because that's how she's going to get better. But
Yeah.
I'm not as concerned. I'd be concerned like a quarter into the season, and then she's still not. She's still like in that role. That wouldn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. But again, we're very early. Very early.
We're as early as it gets, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, one of the things I like the most, kind of like we said earlier, was the Dallas was really trying to move
Mhm.
and push the pace
Oh
big
yeah.
time. And we were kind of looking a little more disorganized than them. But when we were like, okay, we can do this too, we didn't break down. You know, when like things really, like, there's a thing where it's like one team trying to push the pace and the other's like, no, we're going to let the game come to us. And there's kind of this natural. But then there's a moment where two teams are pushing the pace and the game gets crazy and people are diving for balls and they're getting chucked around. And when the game got to that level, we actually were the better team.
Hmm.
which was kind of cool. Like it's nice to know that you have that. Like that's a team that's not something every team can do. Can go
Right.
like literally pedal to the metal and still like be controlled chaos, like to outwork on an individual level, but to be cohesive on a team level, and to be able to see that this early in the season was like, oh shoot, that's nice. It's nice to know our top speed like is there and
Right.
ready to go.
No, I concur. It's exciting.
So we're going to the ship. That's
Oh,
what we're deciding. I heard you said you concur, and that means we're going to the ship.
oh, okay.
Congratulations, people.
Well,
Toot, toot. That's the ship. Toot, toot, toot. We don't have a soundboard. We don't have that kind of money. Toot. That's
it,
the ship.
it
It's leaving,
it
Keisha.
it comes with a movement. I wish everyone could see because
They
it's really
can't.
special.
Not unless they join our Patreon, which doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So don't get excited. Okay, Keisha. So take us into the upcoming games. It looks like on Wednesday, which will be the day this airs, we're playing the Sparks. And
Hmm.
on Friday, we got the Mystics. And on Sunday, the Storm. So, that's three whole games, but just give us a little taste in Keisha's Knowledge Corner. But
Okay.
cue the theme music.
So, for the Sparks, something you always got to be mindful of is Kelsey Plum because she is crafty, she likes to get into people's heads, and she is a nuisance in the worst way possible. Um, and I respect her so much. She's one of my favorite
Oh my
players,
gosh.
of
If you guys
course.
knew how hard it is for her to compliment Kelsey Plum,
she's
she's doing a great job
she's
right now.
she's frustratingly very good. But this Sparks team is looking very different than it did last year. So they lost
Mm-hmm.
Ray Burrell, and so their post scene is again vastly different. They still have Dearica Hamby, who is by far their best post player. And then they also have Cameron Brink, who's still kind of coming back from that major injury, so she's not getting a ton of minutes and time. But I mean, Cameron Brink is phenomenal. She's a huge block. I mean, huge shot blocker. She has great court vision. She's incredibly fast. So when she's in, she's gigantic and she's hard to contain. She's 6'4" and has a huge wingspan. Not pterodactyl levels, but it's up
Mm-hmm.
there. And then again, the big additions this
And
year.
I'm curious about
Hmm.
that because in our fantasy league, you
Yes.
know, I was gonna pick Brink, or I did pick Brink just as my like kind of gamble one.
Hmm.
And then just looking at it, it was like she's not getting the minutes. There's other bigs that are ahead of her and it's been a while since she came back, hasn't
Yeah.
it?
Well, she wasn't 100%. So one thing that she talked about a lot was she wasn't going to rush coming back at I guess 100%. She really didn't want to come back to 5-5 before she was ready. So I don't know what those conversations have looked like. But I feel like she came back and said she was ready at the start of the season. So I don't know if that means she's still going
Okay.
to be on limited minutes. But
So even though she was back at the end of last year,
mhm,
she wasn't 100%. We're saying this is
yeah.
like her beginning of 100%.
But are you going to play Cam Brink ahead of Dearica Hamby or Nneka Agumake? I don't think so.
I don't
That's
think so.
tough. Yeah.
So for her to be the third best big on a team
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of says a lot.
It does. It says a lot. And I'm also curious if NECA coming back to LA means that this is her year to retire,
Hmm.
or if she just was ready to make a transition from Seattle. But NECA is a dangerous post player. Sometimes I feel like they want to pretend and list her as a guard, but she's definitely not. She shoots outside. She's strong, and yeah, she's hard to match up with because she can play wherever she wants to play. And kind of same with
And
Ray Burrell.
since we are talking about the Sparks,
Hmm.
hey, what happened with Kate Martin? How come? What was the deal with that?
Yeah, so Kate Martin was let go of by the Valkyrie and has been picked up by the Sparks on some sort
So she
of
was just fully waived, like
yeah. She had an
That's
injury, and we
crazy.
don't know if it was due to the injury that caused them to decide to waive her. But so the Sparks picked her up on some sort of temporary um, pickup. But yeah, so she's on there. And what I will remind you, Fever fans, is that Kate Martin has a very successful uh, percentage against her best friend Caitlin Clark. So this could be a very interesting Sparks game for the Fever, knowing
Mm,
that.
interesting. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Okay, well, what about the Mystics on Friday?
So the Mystics, again, another very young team, uh, but another very large team. So you have Shakira Austin, Lauren Betts, Angela Guglielch, who's new to the team, um, coming from UCLA, and then Kiki Iriafen. So you're not playing around. Like those are all very big girls, and they all shoot from wherever they please. And that's just the girls who are going to get a lot of playing time. That's not
Hmm.
everyone who will play. And then on the guard side, you have Georgia Amore, who's finally healthy, who was the top pick same year as Caitlin from Georgia, or pardon me, not Georgia, from Kentucky. Sonia Citron from Notre Dame, who had an incredible season last season, and then Rory
Oh,
Harmon
yeah.
from Texas, who's a new add-on. Cody McMahon also huge pickup from originally Ohio, and then I think she ended up at Mississippi, and then Iowa's own Lucy Olson. So this is a super young team. Like a lot of those girls recently just came in from college, but they are young, they are scrappy, and they are strong. And did I mention tall? This is a very, very tall set of ladies, and they like to get the ball inside. So for the Fever, this is going to be a big challenge to not foul, to not get into foul trouble, and to not get tempted to foul Lauren Betts, who is 6'7". She is going to post up. She has a lot of moves, and she's good at shooting in the mid range. She doesn't get a ton of playing time right now, but that can be a really big downfall. And I feel like the Mystics are going to try to get her as much action as they can, so she can get used to this new level of play, the speed.
Interesting. Yeah, looking at it, they only have, gosh, their oldest players have been in the league for 4 and 5 years.
Yeah,
Everyone else has like 1 or no years. That's insane.
yeah. So they've gone with a strategy of like just young and we're gonna go for it. Which hey, if you want to, why not? I mean, Kiki Iriafen is one of my favorite new players to watch. I love how she plays
Mm-hmm.
in the post,
Mm-hmm.
and she can also shoot outside. She's not afraid to dribble. She's not afraid to get physical. And Shakira Austin is very physical, very much a great defensive player. There's a lot of talent here. So this is not. I know the Mystics did not finish in the final, or did not qualify for playoffs last year, but they just barely missed it, and I think they're ready to prove that they don't belong in the top.
All right. Well, Sunday, it looks like we're going to play against the Seattle Storm. So,
Yes.
what can we expect from them?
So this is also a brand new Seattle Storm. Again, a team that has gone through quite a few changes. They lost NECA and they lost Skylar Diggins, but they still have Ezzy Magbagor, who is pretty much their big returner, as well as Dominique Malonga, Dom Malonga, the center, who can dunk. Not as tall as Lauren Betts, but she is 6'6", and I'm waiting for her to dunk on someone. Who else is on Seattle? New additions would be Natasha Heidemann, who is coming from um, Minnesota. She got a huge deal to come here, so I'm expecting her to be very aggressive in showing people that she was worth it. And then from the Mystics, one of the most senior players, Stephanie Dolson, wound up in
Mm-hmm.
Seattle.
Big Mama Dolson,
Yep, here she is. But some
Olympian.
some people to keep your eye on. Jordan Horston, very talented. Flage Johnson from LSU is on Seattle, and she's been having some pretty impressive play. But this is a team that has a lot of names that could go off at any time. Awafam, she's very talented. Lexi Brown, she can go off at any time. But yeah, Jade Melbourne, she's a little more senior player. She's a little shorter guard, but she makes a lot happen. Yeah, they're a brand new team in one sense, but I think there's a little bit more experience on Seattle, so they might um, have a better understanding of what this league has.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is, by all accounts, a very exciting year in the W. We got brand new teams across the board.
Mm-hmm.
We got people getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
We got new teams that look like there's no reason that they're not going to be crazy. And a lot of the worst teams from last year made huge changes, and there's no way that they're going to be at the bottom this year. No one really knows what to. We get to, as we watch like the Fever coalesce, we're also going to watch like the season kind of like come together and figure out like who are these teams, what's going on, what does play look like, what does officiating look like. Who knows? But one thing I do know is you'll be able to go on that ride with us here on the Fever Replay podcast at least once a week. You know, sometimes it's on Sunday, sometimes it's on Monday or Tuesday, but it's gonna be once a week. I'll tell you that much.
Ayo.
Ayo, ayo, indeed. Well, you know, so currently, if you're keeping track of things like wins and losses, we're at the bottom of the league right now. But that means there's only one way for us to go to the top, baby. Toot, toot. All right. Well, with that, that's going to be it for this week, and we'll see you next time on the Fever Replay Podcast.
Bye-bye.